Have you ever been told that the foods you eat every single day could either be giving you more years of energy or quietly stealing them away? Let me ask you this. What if the secret to living longer, feeling stronger, and even thinking more clearly wasn't locked away in some expensive supplement or miracle drug, sitting right there in your kitchen, on your plate, waiting for you to rediscover it? I know it sounds almost too simple, but sometimes the simplest truths are the ones we overlook. And today, I want to walk with you through 5 of the most powerful, most healing foods that people over 50 not only should eat, but absolutely must eat if they want to stay vibrant, resilient, and full of life in the years ahead. But here's the thing, this isn't just about nutrients or diets. It's about how food becomes part of our story. When I think back to my own family, I can still see my grandmother in her small kitchen, making meals out of ingredients that today we'd probably label as superfoods without even realizing they were. She didn't need marketing or a fancy label to tell her these were good for her. She just knew, and she lived with energy well into her 80s. Not because she had some perfect life, but because she consistently made choices that nourished her body. That's the wisdom I want to share with you now. Let's begin with the first powerhouse, leafy greens. Now, I know you've heard it 1,000 times, your vegetables. But let's get real for a moment. Leafy greens are not just about being healthy. They are literally like medicine in disguise. Kale, spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens, these foods are dense with vitamins A, folate, and an army of antioxidants that fight inflammation. Inflammation is at the root of so many issues we face after 50 joint pain, stiffness, heart disease, risk, even memory decline. When you eat greens, you're not just filling your plate with color, you're actively calming down that silent fire inside your body. And here's something fascinating. Studies have shown that even one serving of leafy greens a day can slow cognitive decline. Imagine that a salad could be protecting your memory, helping you hold on to your stories, your laughter, your sharpness. Personally, I used to roll my eyes at salads. They seemed boring. But then, I started experimenting mixing spinach into scrambled eggs, throwing kale into soups, blending greens into smoothies. Suddenly, they weren't boring, they were powerful. So here's my challenge to you. Find a way to sneak leafy greens into at least one meal every single day. And if you've already been doing it, tell me in the comments how it's made you feel. I'd love to hear your experience. The second food might surprise you, fatty fish. Yes, salmon, sardines, mackerel, even herring. For years we were told to fear fat, but science now tells us the right fats are essential for survival, especially as we age. These fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are like lubrication for your heart and brain. After 50, one of the biggest threats is heart disease. But omega-3 south, literally lower triglycerides, reduce dangerous blood clotting, and keep your arteries more flexible. And then there's your brain. If you've ever walked into a room and forgotten why you're there, or struggled to recall a name on the tip of your tongue, you're not alone. But omega-3 south have been linked to better memory, sharper thinking, and even protection against Alzheimer's disease. When I started eating salmon twice a week, I noticed something strange. My mood improved. I felt less cloudy, more steady. Food affects not just the body, but the mind. If you can't always afford fresh fish, don't worry, canned. Salmon or sardines are fantastic and far less expensive. And if you're someone who says, I don't like fish, I get it. Try seasoning it differently, baking instead of frying, or even adding a squeeze of lemon to cut that fishy taste. Your future self will thank you for trying. And hey, if you found a recipe that makes fish delicious, share it with us others. Here we'll appreciate it too. Now, the third food might be one you've taken for granted all your life. Yes, beans. Black beans, kidney beans, lentils, chickpeas. They may look humble, but they are nutritional gold mines. Packed with plant-based protein, fiber, iron, and magnesium, beans are the kind of food that work double duty. They keep your blood sugar steady, which is crucial because so many people over 50 are battling pre-diabetes or full-blown type 2 diabetes without even realizing it. They also keep your gut healthy. And here's the kicker. Your gut health is tied directly to your immune system, your weight, and even your mood. I used to underestimate beans, but then I noticed something. Whenever I had a meal that included lentils, I felt satisfied but not heavy. No crashing energy, no bloating, just steady fuel? That's because fiber slows digestion and helps your body actually use the nutrients instead of spiking your sugar levels. And beans aren't just healthy, they're affordable. They stretch a meal, they feed a family, they remind us that eating well doesn't have to be expensive. If you want a heartier soup, throw in some beans. If you want to bulk up a salad, add chickpeas. If you want a healthier side dish, try black beans with rice. This is how food becomes practical, not just theoretical. If you're nodding along right now thinking, yes, I love beans, let me know your favorite recipe. Because the more ideas we share, the more empowered we all become. The fourth must-have food is one of my personal favorites, berries. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, tiny but mighty. Berries are loaded with antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which give them their deep, rich colors. These antioxidants fight oxidative stress, which is just a fancy way of saying they protect your cells from aging too fast. Think about it. Every day your body is exposed to stress, pollution, and natural wear and tear. Berries are like little warriors, protecting your body on a cellular level. And let's talk about the heart again. Berries have been shown to lower blood pressure, reduce cholesterol, and improve artery function. For those of us over 50, that is no small thing. They're also linked to better brain function. In fact, some researchers call brain berries. When I started adding a handful of blueberries to my breakfast, I noticed I felt more refreshed, more awake, almost like my brain got a little boost. The best part? Berries taste like a treat. They make healthy eating joyful. You don't feel like you're depriving yourself. You feel like you're indulging in nature's candy. And that matters, because health should never feel like punishment. I encourage you to keep a bag of frozen berries in your freezer. They're cheaper, last longer, and are just as nutritious as fresh. Throw them into oatmeal, yogurt, smoothies, or just eat them plain. You'll be doing your body and mind a big favor. And now, the fifth food, the one that ties everything together. Nuts. Almonds, walnuts, pistachios, cashews nuts are small but mighty. They're loaded with healthy fats, protein, vitamin E, and minerals like magnesium and selenium. Walnuts, for example, are particularly powerful for brain health because they contain a special type of omega-3 fatty acid. Almonds help keep your cholesterol in check, and all nuts support heart health, satiety, and long-lasting energy. I'll admit, for years I avoided nuts because I thought they were too high in calories, but then I realized that a small handful goes a long way. They keep me full, stop me from reaching for junk food, and give me steady energy without the crash. And here's something interesting: people who eat nuts regularly actually tend to weigh less over time, not more. That's because the protein and fat in nuts help regulate appetite. It's about quality, not just quantity. So don't fear nuts, embrace them. Just stick to a small handful a day, and you'll be giving your body exactly what it needs. If you're still with me, here's what I want you to take away. These 5 foods: leafy greens, fatty fish, beans, berries, and nuts aren't exotic. They're not gimmicks. They're simple, powerful, time-tested. But the real magic happens when you make them part of your life consistently. Health isn't built in one meal. It's built in the thousands of meals we choose over years. If you start today, even with one small change, you're investing in a stronger tomorrow. And here's a twist you might not expect. It's not about perfection. It's not about cutting everything bad out or following some rigid diet. It's about addition, adding in foods that give life so that little by little, they crowd out the things that steal it. That's a mindset shift, and it's powerful. I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now, looking back on today. Will you be glad you started adding these foods? Will you feel stronger, lighter, clearer, more alive? I believe you will. And I believe it's possible for every single one of us, no matter where we're starting from. So here's what I'll leave you with. Don't just listen, act. Try one of these foods today. Tomorrow, add another. Tell me in the comments which one you'll start with. And if you found this inspiring, if you felt encouraged, please subscribe to this channel, because we are building a community of people over 50 who are not settling for decline, but are choosing vitality, one meal at a time. Your future is still in your hands, and your plate is one of the most powerful tools you have. Let's use it wisely, together.